Good morning, welcome to another video. As you can see behind me, and as the title suggests, down a small river today. This is the Warwickshire Stour. I've come down here because, well, firstly the Avon's not fishing great. Secondly, I've got a few hours this morning. And thirdly, we haven't had rain for a while. And so therefore this river won't have coloured up since I last came down. And it certainly hasn't. We've got at least 2.5 foot of visibility, which is very unusual on this river. So I've come to make the most of it, so I'll do a bit of trotting. Very simple again, I've got my light trotting gear here, which comprises Advanta X5 13-foot float rod, a Drake stick float on there, alloy stem stick float, and a 120M closed face reel there. Let's say it's going to be very simple today. I've got some maggots, I've got a little bit of liquidised bread, which we can throw in perhaps just to kickstart the swims. And that's it. I've got a bit of bread for the hook, if we should want to use that. I think we'll have a go at a few swims we've perhaps not trotted before, this being one of them. Had the odd chub out of here in the past. We'll perhaps go and have a go at this one up here as well. Probably should have started upstream really, but I really fancied having a go in here. First off, we'll perhaps go and run past that cover you can see behind. I'll get out of the way there. You'll see there's a big raft up there. We'll perhaps go and have a go up there in a bit. Just see how we get on. Last time we did this up here, we had a cracking perch, £2 perch. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I'm really looking forward to see what we can winkle out. It's a little bit tight in here, so we may struggle a bit. Someone's pole floats in that tree, I can see. So we're gonna have to be a little bit careful. Yeah, we'll probably catch some roach, some dace, some chub if we fish bread, but probably nothing else. So yeah, I would like to fish maggots. I've got about a pint of whites with some bronzes in, and I've got about a pint and a half of reds as well. I'm going to start off on these and see how we get on. Anyway, enough waffle. Let's get the landing net set up. I've got the keep net with me as well. If we fancy sticking around in a swim, if we get it going, then we can do that. If not, as I say, we'll do 3 or 4 swims if we're not having any joy, just till we hopefully drop on some fish. And weather-wise, I'm waffling on a bit, apologies, but yeah, weather-wise, it's overcast, but I think some might come out. Cold night last night. Went down to almost frost temperatures. It's about 5 degrees at the moment, so it's a bit chilly, to say the least. Hopefully, get a few bites. As I say, we had a cold one last night, so that might put the sport off a bit, but you never know. I'll stick all the info on all the line and hooks, etc. I'm using down in the description below, so you can go and have a look should you fancy it. Oh, not the button. It's a bit like a bite. That was right close to those tree roots and the snags. If that didn't get a bite, we're going to struggle. Right, clearly nothing going on in there. Let's have a move, just have 10 or 15 minutes running past this big raft next to us here. Right, that sums it up to me. We've got a few bites down there, and it's minnows. Right, I'm not flogging a dead horse anymore. This is not working. Clearly, we've been fishing best part of an hour, if not an hour, and we've had half a dozen minnows and 1 little roach. This is not working, is it? Unfortunately, such a shame. Really fancy doing that today. But what I'm going to do, I think as comparison, just out of interest, we'll get back to that first swim we fished. I'm going to go and grab the ledger gear from the car, which is not too far away, and we can compare ledger tactics to float tactics, which clearly aren't working today. The legering's not working either. It's just that cold night that's done it. If it does, then clearly you don't want to chase a moving bait around. Anyway, I'm waffling. We'll go get sorted. Oh, I am back after a brisk walk to the car. It's got me warmed up. I'm back with my Dower ends on extendable 10-foot feeder rod. I bought this because it should be nice and sensitive if we're struggling a bit. So we're going to stick with exactly the same thing. Got some bread, liquidised bread, that'll go in the feeder. And I've got some maggots as well, of course. Right, let's see how we get on. Fingers crossed. I've got a standard running ledger rig on here, nice and adjustable. I'll direct you to a link up in the cards and in the description if you want to go and have a look how I set this up. It's very adjustable. Little Preston plug it feeder on. See how we can get on. Hopefully we can have a few fish. If we catch as many fish as I've seen helicopters and airplanes this morning, we'll be bagging up. Right, it'll be interesting to see how we get on after catching a few minnows in here this morning and nothing else. Well, another sniff. I'm not hanging about. Let's move. Blimey, I can't buy a bite. That's the 3 swims we trotted. All done with the ledger. And I've had one little tap in one of the swims. Let's try a few more of the swims where we've had bites before and a few perhaps that we haven't. I think we need to cover as much water as possible today to try and find a hungry fish. Alright, let's see what we can do in here, if anything. Unfortunately that tree that's broken off there has moved in the flood, so it's right in the way now. Unfortunately. Let's try that. At the moment I'm just working on the assumption that there's a fish on this stretch that's hungry. I just need to try and find it. Ooh, that was a bit of proper sort of inquiry. There we go, go on. That was a proper bite. That was a proper bite. Drop right back. I wonder if you picked the feeder up. Looks like we might have found a hungry fish. I reckon he might have picked that feeder up, like I say. There's a little few taps, and then she went really slack. I think he's picked the feeder up, swam this way. Gives us hope. If it happens again and I miss it, I'll go on the lead. But I've not introduced any feed into here. I'm just doing it just with the feeder right next to the bait. And again, here we go. Here we go. There we go. Oh, blimey. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wow. Come on, out, 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 out. Whoa, 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 whoa. Blimey. What a scrap. Kind of giving up now. Oh, it's a cracking fish, that is. He's woken up again. Well, that is a beautiful fish. Absolutely beautiful fish. I'm pretty sure he did pick up that feeder the first time round. He picked up the bread flake the second time. There we are. How's about that? Absolutely fab. That's wonderful. As I often say, you know pretty much straight away if you can get any bites or not. That was, well, we had a bite first cast, I think a feeder bite off this fella. And then we had a proper bite. Right, we'll get him in the edge here. Because I think there may well be some of his mates down there. It's one of my favourite pegs along here, and you can see why. A lovely bit of cover, but obviously completely unsuitable for trotting. At about a sort of 6 or 7 metre trot until you hit the cover. I think it's just a case of getting those chub to come out. Could perhaps trot it, but it would be very, very tricky. Right, we'll have 5 or 10 minutes more, just see if any of his mates want a meal as well. 2 casts, 2 bites, but it may well have just been this fella. Such a shame it's been so tricky today. Really did fancy doing that bit of trotting and a bit of liquidised bread, perhaps a bit of bread on the hook, trying to pick up some roach or whatever really, or maggots. It's yeah, tough day. Can only think it's the overnight cold. It was pretty cold last night. As I say, almost down to frost temperatures, and we've been 14, 15 in the days. So it's probably been a bit of a shock. Ooh. Bit of an inquiry. Blimey. Another one. Next cast. This is nowhere near as big. It's stripping line off me like that last one. Of course, trying to get under my feet. Oh, that's a cracker. Well, we've turned this around, haven't we? What a lovely brace. We'll have a quick look at this one. Absolutely cracking. About the same length as the last one, but nowhere as near as stocky. Right. Well, as I say, we've turned this around. Brilliant. Right. See if we can do the hat trick. Something which 15 minutes ago I would have laughed if you just said. What a turnaround. Well, nothing else doing in here, so I think we're going to have just to move a little bit further along this cover. There's a sort of run of cover here. I think we'll just move a little bit further along and perhaps go for a wander. Work our way back to the car. Get these fellas back first though. Lovely brace there. Cracking. Go on chaps, back you go. Thank you very much. Wonderful. I think I'm going to make this the penultimate swim. We're not exactly setting the place on fire, are we? It's mighty tricky. There we go, look, straight away. I guess so. very little fish bites, but all reminiscent of little fish bites. I don't think we're going to connect with these if we strike. We've got a big old bit of bread flake on. Oh, we certainly found some small fish in here. Perhaps we should come and trot it in here. It'll run the float along that far side. I'm not striking purely because we've got quite a light tip in here. I think it's only an ounce. And these are not bites off decent sized fish, as you can see. This is smaller fish. Alright, shall we put the maggot feed? Let's see what happens. Smaller hook. There's certainly a lot of fish down here. What they are, be interesting to find out, wouldn't it? It's got a little black cat feeder, or Preston Innovations version of the black cat feeder. Right, this will be interesting. There we go. Well, this isn't particularly small. I was expecting a gudgeon or something. What is it? Oh, it's a roach, I think. Oh, it's trying to snag me up. It is a roach. Look at that. It's a nice roach as well. Cracking. Wow. A nice roach. Not a monster, but a nice one. I say, perhaps I should trot it in here. They're certainly hitting this bait with gusto. Oh, he's fallen off. Go on, off you go. It's all information as well. Information about the stretch, where to fish, where not to fish. It's another roach, I think. It is. Well, you found where the roach are. Should have come in here on the stick float. Mind you, it's about 10 foot, I'd say. There we go. Absolutely banging up on these roach. Oh, wish I still had my float here. These would be wonderful to catch on a float. I haven't got time. I've got to go. But look, stamp. Wow, look at that. Beautiful. Should probably put the net under that. Look at that. Oh, this is frustrating. I'm very tempted to go and get the float gear, to be honest. Well, I really don't think I've got time. Right, slight change up. I've gone back on the plug it feeder because I quite like to keep this liquidised bread going in. But I'm keeping maggots on the hook. They seem to be working quite well. There we go. Oh, believe it. Blimey. Yeah, they are working quite well. We got something. We have. There's a big shoulder roach down there, isn't there? Big shoulder roach. So I can't get the trotting gear. Really got time, but could string it out a bit longer, I guess. Couldn't resist. Not the easiest swim to float fish. It's deep, I would say 10 foot. at a guess, judging by how long it takes the feeder to get down. Could fish from over there, behind me. But the trouble is, if we do that, we're in the best place to stick float fish, but it's going to take about a minute every cast to get the float down into the area where we want it. So I'm going to attempt to fish it from here. I'm really intrigued as to what's going to happen. This may be too tricky to actually do, to be honest. I'm going to swing it over there and let it come round. But I'm too curious to not do this, to be honest, as it is 5 minutes to go and get the stick float. Right, I reckon we're getting on for 10 foot there. I reckon it's a good starting point. We'll just swing this out. See, that's not gone out far enough. This may not work at all, but I'd be kicking myself if I didn't try and have a go with it. Let's see if that'll move. See if we are somewhere near the right depth. When that's moving, it needs to go just a little bit further though to be out in the flow where we were fishing. That's the bite. There we go. This is the way to catch these roach. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful. Absolutely fantastic. Well, that was great. First time I got this in the right place, and we got a bite off a lovely roach. There we are. Flow keeps moving. I've gone beyond the flow this time. Because the flow has come about a yard this way. Oh, this is wonderful. This is what we wanted this morning. Took us a few hours to find it, but I'm not sure what to do about feeding with it being so deep. Need to feed with a swim feeder, really. So we put a ball of ground bait in, or liquidised bread, I should say. These maggots are going to get down where I want them. I'm going to have to throw them in up, right up there. Well, interestingly, we're not getting nearly as many bites on float as we are on ledger. I keep catching the bottom, so we're definitely near the bottom, or not far off it, certainly. Much more fun way of catching roach of this stamp than ledgering. I think we'd have had a few more if we were ledgering. We can always get back on the ledger, can't we? Well, what's happened? Is it just that we're in the right place now? Is it that it's warmed up a bit? Because it's a lot warmer than it was this morning. Who knows? Oh. Bizarrely, it's suddenly gone all quiet. You get a bite of chuck, fish a chuck, even. I had 4 or 5 runs through without a bite when the previous half dozen run through I had a fish every chuck. Very strange. Right, let's go back on the feeder, out of interest. Strange old day. Strange old day. Right, let's see if this does anything. Because this was just getting obliterated, wasn't it? just after it hit the bottom. See if it's see it's still happening. Look. Are we in? I think we are. Yes, we are. You see, they're down there. They just started to ignore the float fish maggot for some reason. How bizarre. It is an awkward swim, I must admit. It's a very awkward swim to trot. It's a nice fish as well. It's a roach. It's not a little one. It's not. That's a landing net job. Come on. Got him. Wow. This is absolutely cracking. Absolutely wonderful. What some sport. As soon as it goes in, bang. Oh, dropped off. Ah. Right, I've had to mix up some of my emergency ground bait, a Sensus 3000 I carry around with me because I've run out of, sorry, just feeling that down. I've run out of liquidised bread. So yeah, I'm on the Sensus 3000 now. I've got about half an hour before I have got to go. I should have gone about an hour ago. But I've got half an hour before I really have to go. No questions. So I think I might have half an hour on bread flake. Just try and winkle something larger out. Perhaps a large roach, although it's not large roach conditions. There do seem to be plenty of roach down there. Just such a shame I couldn't float fish for them successfully. We had that flurry of activity when we started float fishing and then it stopped. Very bizarre. I can't buy a bite. I've gone on the float again because there's a lot of fish topping out there. I can't buy a bite. We go on the ledger and we can't keep maggots in the water. I'm sure I could sit here and catch roach sort of this big all day. Which is a right turnaround from this morning when we couldn't buy a bite. Well, like I say, location perhaps. It is much, much deeper in here than it is on the rest of the stretch we've been fishing. So you just want to be in this deeper water, especially with it being relatively clear. All smaller fish just mullering us. Again, I think if we put maggots back on, we're getting a fish about every 20 seconds, but not on the float, bizarrely. I got one. Yay. We can swing him just about. It's a cracking fish. That's what's topping over there, I think. There we go. This is what we've been getting loads of bites off. They're not tiny either. Certainly it would be wonderful to catch on the stick float. We're going to have to come back and do that. But I have got to go. Well, as I say, I've got to go. So yeah, but what a strange old session that was. Swims and swims and swims with only a couple of minnows. Chill out. With only a couple of minnows to show. And then we changed over and got the ledger gear and had those two lovely chub. And then we've come in here and it's roach, roach, roach. I could have been catching a roach about every 30 seconds of casting in here on Maggots. It's been absolutely crazy. I've tried bread a few times, nothing. We went on the float as you've seen, and yeah, it wasn't massively productive. Doing something wrong, I'm sure. Look at this plonker, honestly. Someone's getting a bit comfy. We've got to go. It's no good getting comfy. Now, I am going to be on the Y later in the week, getting down there for a bit of trotting. Hopefully get some chub out. I'm hoping maybe we might even contact some grayling. I'm planning to do some trotting with maggots, some roach, some dace, who knows what. That's for next time. For now, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Tight lines, enjoy your own angling. Many thanks to the channel patrons for your fantastic support. I'll see you again very soon.